seconds remaining. Thunder Awakens. Turn to ban. Radiant team ban.
What up, everyone? Welcome back to the BTS Pro Series 13. It's your boy Neff with Badger again. We got Infinity against Thunder Awaken lined up for you now.
It's going to be a fantastic series. This is one of the classic South American matchups. These players have played with and against each other for years and years. They know each other very, very well. And again, the one really new element, of course, would be Knight of Thunder Awaken of Belarus. He's the fresh newcomer to the South American Dota scene. You don't see too many Euro to SA crossovers, but to the best of my knowledge, he'll be moving into the TA team house for the next BTS season.
Ah, very nice. I mean, it'd be nice having him over and everyone on pretty good ping. Very necessary for DPC and SA, as it is going to be pretty stacked down there next season.
Absolutely. I mean, there's even some decent teams in Div 2 next season. They're going to be probably 10 or 11 teams with a legit shot of trying to be like a top 4 team in DPC. There's some good units.
Yeah. But speaking of good units, we got the draft here. We got a good unit kicking off Thunder Awaken, Ember Spirit here.
That's not where I thought you were going, but I'm happy that's where you went.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this leaves you susceptible to being counterpicked with something like a Huskar right away, but you can pick answers to Huskar if this is what Infinity decide to open with. Instead, they'll pick one of the stronger supports right now. They start with the Crystal Maiden on their side.
So, the fun part with all these names being the way they are, there's no stand-ins, by the way, even though nobody's tagged up as their actual name but Knight. Nobody's tagged up but Knight, but there's no stand-ins.
It does make your job kind of hard, doesn't it?
Your job too, but yeah, mostly my job.
Let's see. Anyways, Tiny now grabbed on the side of Infinity, then Awaken to grab Nature's Prophet. Okay. So they're going to have like amazing global potential here between the Ember Spirit and Nature's Prophet. Be able to get on top of heroes very easily. Solid disable with once you hit level 20, once the Sprout Leisha comes out. I think Pierce's Magic Immunity, by the way, alongside the Searing Chains. Tons of setup, so I imagine we'll pick some pretty fast tempo heroes alongside the Ember and the Nature's Prophet, but they do flex this Ember Spirit quite often in SA. They could switch this one over to the 4.
I'm waiting for you even could be, if they're feeling real bold, a 3 Ember, but it's probably gonna be either 4 or mid, yeah.
So we'll see if they end up doing that. It really depends on what Infinity's going to grab. At that point, you'll be more likely to reveal whether or not it's going to be a flex pick. They get rid of the SF and the Pudge, though, which makes me think that, I mean, you're a little bit concerned about the SF if you're playing Ember Spirit in the mid lane. SF coming out to counter, but we've been seeing SF in the safe lane just as much, if not more, than we have mid SF. Times are changing, man.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the flex potential certainly helps as well. When you have a hero who can be in 2 different roles, it adds, a lot of ambiguity to your draft, which makes your job easier and the opponent's job a lot harder. So, It's always the fun times there. Okay then. That's a tie under, not what I was expecting, but a very fun year to guest.
Are you serious?
I mean, I was surprised. We haven't seen that many ties.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love it when he presses Anchor Smash and reduces everyone's damage. Dude, this is such slow-paced gaming. What do you mean you're excited about
I like Ravage, Neff. I have a soft place in my heart. 2012, 2013 nostalgia of people using Ravage and like LD and ISE screaming at the Ravage. That's deep in my heart, Neff. You can't take that from me.
Legendary TI player Hannah Montana.
Complexity Hannah Montana, baby. No comment on that one, but that was a good time for Chinese Dota and for nobody else but Navi.
Yeah.
Regardless, we got tied. He has 27 picks in this Pro Series, so I'm surprised I was that surprised at Tide being picked. I like Tide.
How many of those picks are from Phase 3?
Okay, let's go.
He's gotten a lot less popular ever since Phase 3.
So there have been 2 picks of Tidehunter in Phase 3, specifically in BTS Pro Series Americas. Both have been by Infinity. Yep. In those games, they went 2-0. So they are undefeated on Phase 3 with Tide.
Yeah, but he's been a lot less popular on Phase 3 of this tournament. is what I was trying to get at here. Hoodwink now picked up afterwards. I mean, you can do damage. You got a break in the form of your ultimate, so able to stop his Kraken shell from going off. I feel like you need a little bit more disable if you don't want to just be constantly owned by Ravage. Tidehunter is going to be pretty solid defending the towers from the Nature's Prophet, though. He's going to be running those treants at it. It's going to do absolutely nothing once he anchor smashes them. It's just gold for the Tidehunter. What?
Radiant team pick.
He's ready to go.
I see. I think I lost you there for half a second. Anyhow,
well,
Undying now grabbed.
I'm back.
Yeah. I mean, solid pick against the Tiny and the Tidehunter, but not amazing when you don't know what you're playing into. You still have 2 picks here available on Third Awaken. If this is a 5 Undying, you know you're playing into the Tidehunter and not much else. So something that can kind of click him down, be solid coming out next year on Infinity. I think a Marana would be quite nice. Just like go Gush, get a Blightstone on Marana, then just click the Undying down as he tries to decay you. You do a lot of damage between the Marana right clicks and the Gush.
If they do that, they will be locking themselves into the mid-tiny, almost certainly, which again, we saw earlier. It's certainly doable, but it depends where they want to go with the tiny. I mean, they've got their options.
You think the Tiny Tidehunter is a good lane?
I'm not saying it is, but you generally see the tiny played as a 4.
I'm saying that it's not happening at all. There's no way it's going to be Tiny Tidehunter in the bottom lane. This is going to be a tiny mid.
Yes, I mean specifically, Tiny Tide's not a great lane, but especially into Undying. So that actually might be a Tiny Tide lane in the bottom lane. What's the DP? You think maybe DP4 then?
DP4, yeah.
Okay. I feel it. You mentioned ranged heroes. DP is indeed a ranged hero.
That you can click people down. You do a reasonable amount of damage in the early game.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm actually really interested in seeing what these carry picks end up being. We're assuming for Thunder Awaken it's Ember mid, Nature's Prophet offlane.
Yeah.
Which means the last 2 picks will be carries, but because the last 2 picks are carries, and so many carries have already been banned out, we might be really, digging into the dumpster bin for what carries are left, because, TA banned, Pudge banned, SF banned, Morphling banned, Ursa banned, Gyro banned, Monkey King banned, 7 heroes who either are played primarily or often as a carry, and we have 4 more bans, which will be probably used on carries. So what's even going to be left at that point?
I mean, you got TB, and Slack is something we got rid of. When we saw Juggernaut come out in the previous series, Sven is available as well. So they get rid of the Medusa. Why would they get rid of the Medusa?
I think Thunder Awaken have picked Medusa multiple times this tournament. I'm looking at
that. About not having enough damage to get through the Medusa, and so they're picking a carry that's not going to be that good at that.
Yeah, both these teams have picked Medusa this tournament and won with it, so both respect the power of the Medusa hero. So, this hero can be very difficult to kill. Sven's still unbanned, Lifestealer Jug's still unbanned. Troll is still unbanned, we saw that earlier. Outside of that, I guess Sniper's still unbanned if you want to go Sniper carry, but both teams have anti-Sniper technology ready.
I don't think you're that concerned about a Medusa if you plan on picking up a Sniper. You just kind of outrange the Medusa. She's never able to lead on top of you unless she builds a Blink Dagger, and even then you have a lot of escape abilities. When the Medusa is banned out, it makes me think more so the Lifestealer. Yeah, I think I would really not like to play Lifestealer. Lifestealer Sven, I would not want to play against the Medusa. With a Juggernaut on the other side here. So again, like you mentioned, nothing but carries banned out. Certainly,
we're beginning to run out.
Yeah. I mean, you can always flex the Ember Spirit to pause 1.
Possible, though we haven't seen it that often for a reason. It's a very bold play that relies on getting ahead early. Because Ember's not like your traditional right-click carry. It relies on getting ahead and then bursting with Sleight of Fists, which is, again, doable. I wouldn't put it past Thunder Awaken to try it, but I think they'll prefer a more traditional carry. Unless they want the Nature's Prophet to perhaps be their carry, then they can have an offlaner. But you mentioned Nature's Prophet into Tide lane, not great for Nature's Prophet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the treants just do absolutely nothing to him. That's how you do the majority of your damage with the Nature's Prophet. So you can dodge that lane no matter what, basically. You switch Nature's Prophet over to pause 5 and Hoodwink to 4, if that's going to be the case. Basically just to dodge that lane out. They get cleared up pretty easily with Anchor Smash as well. They were at the get rid of the Bloodseeker last on Infinity. So they don't plan on. Okay, hold on. They're getting rid of the Bloodseeker. It almost makes me think that they could be going for an anti-mage on Infinity. That's a hero that we haven't seen in a very long time. But then the Medusa ban would make absolutely no sense if that were the case.
Maybe they're trying to play a little bit of mind games in this one. I mean,
maybe they decided that maybe they wanted Juggernaut before and they changed their mind. You can't play anti-mage into the Terrorblade though. So they go for the
so TB Sven. There are still 2 more good carries left.
Boring. I wanted to see some unique carries come out here. Instead, just back to the Terrorblade in the Sven, but I guess it works.
Dude, we've mentioned anti-mage in 2 different drafts today when there's a 0% chance anti-mage will ever get picked in Pro Series.
Yeah. Maybe I spent too much time with Black when we were casting C and DPC. Man had anti-mage on his mind all the time.
I mean, Dominic Reitmeier, one of the most legendary anti-mage players ever, so I'm not too shocked. But
I haven't spoken to that guy in a while. I'd shoot him a message.
Probably should, yeah. You know, one of the greats of the game. Might as well do it.
Hello, are you still alive?
Are you okay? Are you playing anti-mage still?
You know,
has Valve unbanned your main yet?
Out of everyone at CNDPC, I got to talk about anime the most with him.
Of course.
5 seconds remaining.
Really made me feel like I was back at home. Anyways, this, I would say that I prefer the draft on the side of Infinity. I think we run into a little bit of the problem that we saw earlier where they don't have enough burst damage to take down the Terrorblade, but you could potentially play this fast enough that the TB isn't able to build a lot of damage items. Yeah, I definitely prefer the draft of Infinity. Plus, I think Tidehunter's pirate hat is pretty cute.
I want to agree with you, but I also want to be a contrarian. I'll be a contrarian. Why not? I'll go Thunder Awaken draft. I think this TB will hit a timing point. He'll get ahead. Eventually, maybe like minute 35, minute 40, TB will have like 6 items. He'll have an Aghanim, so he'll have that Terror Wave upgrade, and then at that point, he'll be too big to fail. And maybe that will happen. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in the Terror Wave.
Yeah. A Terrorblade Terror Wave, huh? I don't imagine that is why anyone picks this hero.
I mean, you don't pick it for that, but in pretty much any bad TB game, Terror Wave is a nice thing to have because it just provides something you normally don't have on Terrorblade, and that's large AoE crowd control.
My argument against that one is I'd say you don't want the geek to get to that point.
You don't want it to get to that point, but not every game can go the way you want it to. We've seen plenty of games go the wrong way for one team or even both teams in some games.
Prepare for battle.
Either way, if you are just joining us, welcome to game number 1 of Infinity Esports taking on Thunder Awaken. Both teams are in this second losers quarterfinal of the day. It's best of 3. The winner of that will go on to face Beast Coast. The loser will tie with Nouns for 5th place. My name is Badger. I am joined by the very deadly, very dangerous Neff Sensei, and hopefully we're going to be in for a great,
I'm quite scary.
Great game number 1.
Don't call me cuddly again.
I remember, Neff. I told you I'd do this. We're paused anyways. We have time to continue to laugh and giggle like absolute idiots.
The door? Why you got the door? You're in the middle of a dodo? That's not a good excuse. Where's my admin?
I mean, he's a grown adult doing grown adult things. He's a paid professional. He's gonna get to the door. Maybe it's pizza. Maybe it's a solicitor. Maybe it's booty call. I don't know what he's doing, man. He's a grown adult. He'll figure it out.
God,
timer's going. If you're curious, he's got plenty of time.
It's late over there. It's like 7 p.m. Who's gonna knock on the door? I haven't had anyone knock on my door in years.
You're like what? You're hundreds of meters off the ground though. No one's gonna walk up randomly.
Yeah, but no one calls either.
Okay, that's not my fault. That's not my fault, bro.
Hold on. This isn't a sad thing. This is a good thing. Let me make that clear to everyone.
We'll go with that one.
I don't want people to call.
Sounds like cope to me, but we'll go with that one.
Back on topic of the game here. I was again hoodwink. I wasn't sure who placed the. I can check who placed the ward first. They placed them at very similar timings. I think they maybe caught the Genic placed this observer ward over here, so Michael could be about to drop his sentry and dewarding that one. It'd be a nice little boost to gold XP.
We have resumed, by the way. After about a minute 15 of pause time, we're back to our pre-horn shenanigans. More wards being placed, so, you know, that's how it goes sometimes.
This is a bizarre one to place at the beginning of the game. Maybe they just want to scout out potential stacks being made by the Tidehunter.
Oh, the war from Excel? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we see Frank the tank on Tide. Tide, obviously one of the biggest enthusiasts of stacks at the buy camp, so wouldn't be too shocked if they at least get a couple of them in there, here and there.
Yeah. The question is, who's going to move over to the triangle and clear out those stacks the Tidehunter makes them?
I don't know. That's the problem for future. That's the problem for future Infinity and future Thunder Awaken, not for current anybody.
Yeah, I mean, you can scout these stacks out, but no one on your team is particularly good at clearing them. Like, maybe the Ember Spirit can flame guard them down, but if you get caught when you're doing that, he just dies.
Yeah, I figured it out. They're not actually going to clear the stacks. They're going to kill Tide when he's clearing the stacks.
But this guy takes no damage when he's doing that.
You have a good counterpoint. You have a very good counterpoint. Speaking of Tide, the Anchor smashes top lane. Meta comes in from Knight. Frank's taking a lot of damage right now. For those who are curious, when we call him oh, he's just gonna die. This is first blood going to Knight. He brings down Frank. For those who are wondering, we are going to be calling Devil Frank, and we're going to be calling Jim Park Parker, because those are their names, and I'm not sure why they're tagged up like that.
I like Jim Park. I think I'm gonna start calling him that from now on.
You want to go with Jim Park?
Yeah.
Let's go with Jim Park. Why not?
Sounds like an amusement park filled with people named Jim.
What's the appeal on that? What's your selling points?
I don't know.
How do you bring them in the door?
Sounds quirky.
That's something else, Beth. I'll give you that one.
Maybe the amusement park is just like an office building and all the gyms are in cubicles and you have to watch them.
Oh, bottom lane, we see a kill on Michael brought down by Jim Park and Prada. They caught Michael a little bit isolated to the west side of the lane and they ran him on down. Speaking of Jim Park, over to top lane as well, we see Tide taking a lot of damage from this TB Undying combination. Tiny is mostly playing outside the lane, cutting the wave, but in that time, they're punishing Tide, doing a lot of damage to him.
Yeah, I mean, here's the issue with this one. You're running a double strength lane. This is why I was so certain that it wouldn't be Tiny pause 4. Yes, got him. You are running Tiny pause 4, but this is double melee strength lane against the Undying. And these two don't do much together. Like, all you gotta do is, like, sap up half the Tidehunter's XP, stop him from getting higher levels in Anchor Smash, Kraken Shell at that point, and then, I don't know, die in this lane, feed TB extra kills. I'm really not a big fan of the support here. I mean, your bottom lane is gonna be decent at the very least. You have Crystal Maiden, Sven down here. You've got good kill potential between the two of them.
We already saw it already get one kill, so might see another one, assuming either of his shields gets too caught alone. For the time being, though, we see a
Speaking of alone, zone from the rune.
Oh, what a great segue, Neff! I love it. He's got a 1 water rune. He might. Okay, Leo is zoning him away right now. Alone, he's almost dead actually. Has to use the Fairy Fire just to not, correction, the water rune just to not die.
Yep. And Leo Style is just gonna match whatever rune he tries to walk for. So support's gonna have to come in. Ideally, Alone moves in. Moves in through the bottom. Has to pick up that bounty rune close to the 4-minute mark.
Prada's dead bottom lane, and it seems like Frank might die top lane during all of that. By the way, Tide will survive, but again, a lot of brawling going in favor of Thunder Awaken right now.
Yeah. That makes Ember's game somewhat difficult. He's matching the CS of the Death Prophet at the very least. The man's not getting just like completely owned here, but he's pushed back out of the lane at this point.
We're seeing now, like, Leo's playing right on the wave. Alone has to play a bit further away from the wave. This is a good opportunity for Leo to get a CS gap there. Just presses advantage in this lane. And we're seeing rotation from Genic. Just to make sure this lane is going well, goes even better. I mean, at this point, they are leaving Frank to a lost lane, saying, you know what? You have Ravage, you've Gush, you'll find a way to have impact. I am securing my mid-laners lane.
Yeah. And it's kind of the best thing you can do, rather than just, like, continue to lose your lane, help you win something. Unfortunately, that rotation didn't do much. End up getting the slight chains off onto the Death Prophet, so she's not able to get to the Water Rune in time. Block that one from Ember Spirit. He's going to be back up at full HP again.
Yeah, I'm just watching Excel on this top lane. He has no care in the world about the enemy heroes. He's running in, repeatedly taking spells and right clicks. He does not care. He's just too tanky right now.
I'm not opposed to taking the occasional bounty.
He is currently living up to the name Undying as it currently stands.
Yep. Michael,
Or mid lane rotation from Illich.
Michael's coming in as well.
Oh, it's going to be a big gank on Leo. He's stunned by the Bushwhack. Tombstone's there. There's 4 heroes committed for this gank. Leo's still alive, however. He's about 100 HP. Excel is diving. The Sprout is on Genic, but Leo actually gets away. Over to Genic. He's taking a 4-man gank. He'll die under the tower. Over to Prada. He's rotated in as well. Bushwhack is there from Michael. There's still 4 heroes running a Crystal Maiden. He's inside the Sprout. He'll tangle his way out, but it still won't save his life. It's a 4-man Crystal Nova into a death at the hands of Nature's Prophet. So you commit a lot for those kills. You don't get your main target, but you still get 2 kills for your Nature's Prophets.
Yeah, they've got a catapult here as well. If they decide to stick around, they can do some reasonable damage to this tier 1 tower. In fact, that's
Meanwhile,
exactly
top lane,
what they're
Frank's
going
going down as well. He's TPing, but he does not get away. Now he had the meta and ran down the tide. In comes your tip.
Yeah, real respect's real, as they say. Then they're waking up 5-1 so far. That's not bad.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, TB #1 net worth right now, about 700 gold ahead of the Sven. He is far and away the happiest man on the map right now.
Yeah, by a good margin as well.
Oh, Genic denies alone the haste rune. He'll just haste away now. A sad tale for Alone, a happy tale for Infinity. Speaking of Infinity, Leo's died in mid lane for Excel. Has Crypt Form, hits it on Excel, and the Undying has now become an oxymoron.
It was a good one. Anyhow, a die chased down by Leo style there, just trying to contest the rune from him. No, you are level 6 on Alone, but you don't have your Orb of Corrosion yet, I don't believe. Where's his courier?
Frostbites, Avalanche, Exo committed, toss up on Alone. He'll Sleight of Fist and Remnant afterwards. Good escape. He'll now put a Remnant up, TP to the fountain, heal up for the continuing fight. Furion has arrived, as have both supports on the side of Thunder Awaken. With Alone returning, they have 4. Sprout on Leo, Remnant forward, kill 2 Alone, and the Tombstone's there just for good measure to secure the T1 tower mid lane.
I'll make quick work of him. Now, into the tower. No, try to clean this one up. I don't think we'd be able to stop them. No Fortify available, so mid tier 1, and you find the enemy mid laner, just like that.
Radiant's middle tower.
It's big plays, big plays. That's a situation where Alone is still not that rich, but Leo's even poorer, so it's... And they're at least saying, all right, if our mid laner is going to suffer, we want yours to suffer as well.
Let's take a look back up at the top. I mean, Frank is doing a little bit better than he was before, at the very least, but Knight is still super far ahead of everybody else, and I don't see Tidehunter finding any kills off onto this TB. We're going to get him back into this game.
He's actually just dead here, I think.
Who?
Reflection's available.
Died?
All Michael has to do is hold the Bushwhack for the TP cancel, and there's no way Double can leave. Yeah, there it is. 1 more kill for Knight. That'll be his 3rd kill of the game, assuming it's his last hit, and he will. He eventually will, right? 1 more hit from the meta.
Yeah.
Correction, Soul Rip.
Yeah, Soul Rip will get him. Down the bottom lane, Nature's Prophet now clearing out this tower here. I mean, this is what you want to match the Tidehunter up against. You want to slow this one down.
Over to Alone. He's in danger right now. He has no remnants left. But the 2-man chains in the walk away. 1 more Siphon. Crypt Swarm. Alone has been caught by the Avalanche. Okay then, this is a lot of action.
Punisher going over Corrosion, no boots.
Radiant's top tower.
Yeah, just walked down there by the Death Prophet. Not able to finish off the bottom tier 1 tower on the Nature's Prophet. Will with this next summon though.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, it's a 2nd tower taken when this dies, but notice top lane. The tower is actually half HP as well. Thunder Awaken might even stretch for a 3rd D1 tower in the coming minutes.
That is
This is a lot
exactly
of
what they're
gold.
doing. It's where Lone is on the way to right now. As you can see, thanks to your quick chat. Big quick chat enthusiast here, by the way. I think
On my
communicating with
way.
words significantly overrated. Everyone's like interrupting each other and shit when you do that. Unfortunately, the man still doesn't have boots this far into the
Honestly,
game.
A little bit of language barrier as well, given there's 4 players who primarily speak Spanish, and 1 player primarily speaks, I'm assuming, Russian. So, sometimes you want to have the quick chat there just to convert that one on the fly.
Yep.
Well, it's dive time. Frank the Tank is in a lot of trouble. Tombstone has been placed. In comes Leo with the Exo. Ravage will be there on 2 heroes, Ember and Undying. Ember, the main target, will die. Excel is now duking in the trees. His Tombstone will perish, and he likely will join his Tombstone. Illich TP's in, going towards Prada. Prada will die. 1-for-1 trade now turned into a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Infinity. Illich is running away as it currently stands. Leo will get bushwhacked, however, allowing the Nature's Prophets to cleanly escape. Wait, he's turning back in towards Genic. Michael is nearby. Acorn shot on cooldown. Illich still running. In comes Knight on the high ground, using the reflection to slow. Bushwhack hits Leo. Avalanche hits Michael. Acorn shots bouncing around. Genic might die in 1 more hit, and he'll die to Knight. Over to Leo. He's being run up by 4 heroes. He's fast, but is he fast enough? He's still in the run. Sprout is up in 2. Bushwhack, Sprout, Parker arrives. Leo's taking a lot of damage. The meta damage just too much. And Alone has respawned into the fight, going towards Parker. He's brought down by Michael. Thunder Awaken, heavily victorious in a very long team fight.
Yeah, I mean, last game we saw, fight after fight happen, but no kills at the beginning of the match. Now we see people just dropping left and right. Then Awaken. I'm surprised at 5-12, it is only a 1k net worth advantage for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly comes down to Ember just not having gold.
Yeah, they got their eyes on the Tide, or sorry, not the Tide Hunter. The Tide Hunter doesn't exist to them. They got their eyes on this tower. They're looking to play this incredibly fast. Again, he's just clearing this one out. This is kind of why you pick the Tide Hunter up, right? You want to be able to slow down this this push, sit him front.
In comes Excel, tossed in by Genic, but I'm not sure if Genic want to do that toss. Frank is dead. Parker's arrived. He's inside the Sprout. He pulling places there, but he's still being trapped on the inside. He's trying to cleave his way to get at least 1 kill on Nature's Prophet, but he cannot get it. 2 more kills for Alone, and he is not alone today. He has 4 teammates, and they're running down the top lane right now.
Yeah, everyone else needs to get the hell out of here. It is just kill after kill. I mean, this is kind of what happens. You end up chain feeding. 1 hero's dead, and then
it's an avalanche on Excel, but he's not even dead yet. He soul ripped himself. We saw an offensive Sunder from Knights to damage Leo. Leo got tossed away by Genic. Sharpshooter from long range! What a snipe from Michael!
Damn. That was sick.
Indeed. Damn, son.
I didn't even see that one coming. Man lines that one up, and he's going to put some solid damage into the Leo style here. He's forced to just soul rip the creep. Or sorry, Spirit Siphon the creep in order to heal back up and not die alone. Whose game hasn't really gotten that much better, but I mean, this man is the master of making things work when he's got no net worth. I saw his Invoker one time. The man was absolutely broke. He basically transitioned to a pause 4.
Genic is dead, by the way. He went for the kill on Excel at the rune. Excel got the rune, and Genic got a death.
Yeah. Oh, he's getting close to where he should be with his farm on the Ember Spirit, and actually opted to go power treads this game rather than phase boots or boots of travel.
He's got that that max chains plus max slight build. The classic old school South American build from like 2015.
I don't even know. The classic old school build is double Battle Fury Daedalus.
I mean, the build before Battle Fury Daedalus. This was the build before Battle Fury Daedalus.
It was never before Battle Fury Daedalus.
I remember that time. It was a wild and crazy time. You got like this skill build, you got like a Desolator. It was wild.
Yeah,
it lasted for about 3 months.
Why get Desolator when you could just go right through their armor and cleave?
Yeah, we learned that later. We learned that like 3 months later. Don't worry. Different times. You were there. You remember. Maybe you don't remember.
I don't remember.
They went on Frank, by the way, during all of that, but they didn't kill him. Instead, both teams will 3-man smoke headed at different directions. Infinity at Furion. Thunder Awaken at Parker in the jungle. He'll dodge these slight chains, however. He'll walk away, and it seems like Illich has a read on the game as well because he is far and away back right now. He's being pinged out by Genic. Tumbler's Toy, Avalanche, the Gush to follow, toss up in the air. Crystal Maiden is here as well. Leo will use the Exo, and he'll bring down Illich. So, successful gank for Infinity. Gets an off-lane kill plus a tower on top. Meanwhile, Thunder Awaken gank not only does not get a kill, but the tower they're at is already dead.
They're going to lose the top tower here for sure, but no, wrapping around trying to find a kill off onto the CM if they can.
Chains on Parker. He's trying to stand his ground. He's taking a lot of damage. Alone, Remnant away. Parker will attempt lifesteal up. That will not work this time around. Instead, it's Frank and Prada on the run, though the lockdown is not here, really, so Thunder will now back off to the south towards perhaps the bottom lane where Genic is running from Knight and Illich. Alone will Remnant in. Sprout is there on Genic, and Genic will fall to the Nature's Prophet Treants, I believe. Regardless, one more kill there for the side of Thunder Awaken, their 18th kill of the game, and, well, we're seeing pings towards that bottom tier 2 tower. Not an easy tower to get, but there's a lot of will, and if there's a will, there's a way.
You got vision on all the heroes inside of Infinity at this point, not to be able to come to Infinity.
Radiant's bottom
Oh, poor Prada. He just died, didn't he? Actually, he didn't just die, but he's dead this time around. The sharpshooter from mostly short range was good enough to do the job on that one, so... Again, the net worth lead extends to 4K, and Thunder Awaken, they're in control of this game right now.
Again, it feels a lot worse than 4K net worth advantage, but maybe Sven's just keeping them in it as far as net worth goes. He's still quite far away from his BKB, and he got a blink queued up before that. I think at this point he doesn't go for the full BKB. He goes, sorry, he doesn't go for the blink dagger. He just disassembles his Echo Saber into the BKB. Otherwise, he's never going to come online in time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad thing, but it's something you think you have to do, yeah. Mid lane? Oh, Frank's dead again. He's being gone on by 4. He's very tanky for a man with 5K net worth.
Oh my god, the body block here from Excel. You just have to hold your Ravage as well. If you commit that, then all of a sudden you don't have a tool for defending your buildings. I think best case scenario, they bait Thunder Awaken into diving onto them, but the Tidehunter there, and they Ravage under like a tower flak. It's the only way they manage to find that many kills.
Well, this T2 tower mid, at the very least, is fairly hard to kill, and instead Thunder Awaken will mostly split the map, get some wards up, get some farm. We're seeing a bit of a conflict at this D ward Excel is making. Meanwhile, Genic's being gone on in the Dire jungle as well. Question is who will die first. The answer is Genic. Back over to Excel. Actually, instead it's Parker, man fighting alone. Alone will Remnant away, back over to Excel. He's going to the southwest. I believe Infinity know he's here, but he's actually going to TP away in time. All right, then. Across the map, fantastic stuff from Thunder Awaken.
Yeah. Managed to get away. Nope. Ooh.
Oh, no. What a clean bushwhack. Sharpshooters there, though.
They're afraid to commit onto him because the Ravage. You know the team is relatively close.
Problem is, Prada's already dead, and there's one more bushwhack on flank. 2 more kills.
Yeah.
And again, you saying?
Right beside the Roche pit as well, so they're just going to move into this. Metamorphosis already been popped. They'll clear this out.
It's perfect timing. And well, at this point, Thunder Awaken, who are already winning with 2 lives on probably Terrorblade, will begin to win more. They can definitely commit for these 2 remaining tier 2 towers. I think Infinity know what's going on, but they're not going to stop this. It's not possible at this point.
Yeah, not without the Tidehunter. Maybe if he was up and over the pit, they might be able to do something. Maybe like Freezing Field Ravage, you can come back in, but at the moment, just impossible. And unfortunately, Knight getting close to the Eye of Scotty. Once he has that, I think you're going to run the same issue that Nouns ran into game number 1 against Beast Coast, where you don't have enough damage to get through the Terrorblade. He's always going to be able to get his Sunders off.
I mean, if they commit everything to TB, maybe they'll kill him, but even then, if they do that, then Thunder Awaken can respond. They can use their own abilities to counterplay.
Commit everything, you don't have enough hard lockdown. As long as you hold him that Manta style to be able to get out of the silence of the Death Prophet, he'll survive.
Yeah, because, what? Ravage, it's only Ravage, Avalanche, Stormbolt? Or you could be during Avalanche, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not even that's enough then. Jeez. Well, they have a Terrorblade problem. And they have a severe Terrorblade problem. Meanwhile, bottom lane, ooh, good slight chains in the trees from Alone. Acorn shot finishes the job, though. Over to top lane, we see Parker having a fun time with some illusions. Excel is in the trees, if you're wondering, but I believe he'll be fine. Wait, he showed. Bold play from Alone. Excel will use the Tombstone. Illich TPs in Freezing Field, and the damage from Parker will bring down Excel eventually. Unless he dukes in the trees even harder, Parker will BKB just to TP. Prada is dead. Excel's still alive. Oh no.
That was your 9-second BKB though. That's gonna be on cooldown for another 80 seconds here. They can just do whatever they want on the map. You still have Aegis. You have everything available. Sven's not able to fight anymore.
And you exchange it for the BKB on Illich, but the one on Parker is a lot more important right now.
They're not even gonna bother fortifying for this tower. They know that it's deceased.
RIP, our friend, the top tier 2 tower. That's 5
Yeah.
towers taken by Thunder Awaken, only 1 taken by Infinity. And map control situations only going to get worse now.
Yep. They move back. I guess they don't want to breach high ground up through the top lane, especially with the mid tier 2 still standing. That way, if they do take a fight inside the enemy team base, they're only able to grab like 1 set of racks. So turn their eyes towards the tier 2 in the mid lane after that. Then I think they'll breach high ground. And with 2.5 minutes left on this Aegis, I mean, there's no reason not to be more aggressive.
And it definitely require a lot to break the high ground. But again,
Oh, well,
when you have 2 lives, you
They
can make
have
that
exactly
risk.
what they need coming out now. BKB for alone. Being flown out on his courier. With that, they'll be able to dive back like super far in and won't get punished by Crystal Maiden or the Death Prophet.
You are correct, Neff, as always.
DP.
Meanwhile, we have Leo TPing. I believe he barely gets away, and he barely will get away.
Yeah. Oh, make some
Over to
space for his
Parker.
team. Unfortunately, you just wasted your Searing Chain, so it didn't have chains off a cooldown in order to get the stun off onto the Sven there. And Death Prophet finishes up Lotus Orb as well, just before that fight. So this one will come in handy. Be able to get away from, I guess, the Searing Chains, as well as dispel TB Reflection. All sorts of things in this game.
Knight and Michael are playing under Infinity Vision as it currently stands. Meanwhile, we do see a jump onto Genic on the east side. Excels a 2-man DK. Nice running forward bushbacks there on Genic. Genic will most certainly die. The remainder of the team will attempt to get away, but we see a toss in on Knight towards Prada. Prada is dead. Frank has a Ravage. He's half HP, sundered down to half HP from Knight. He's trying to run away, but he's slowed by the Scotty from the Terror Blade and his illusions. The Tide will escape, but again, 2 more kills from Thunder Awaken. And well, it's definitely high ground time. Glyph comes in from Infinity, but the problem is there's still more creeps coming in, so it only delays this push. We have Tiny and CM in 5 seconds. Leo is on the run right now. Knight is hitting T3. T3 tower will die.
Yeah, and even if you want to drop a Ravage, like it's off a cooldown, but the Tidehitter doesn't have a blink dagger. You have to walk slowly into the enemy team in order to drop this. You'll have tons of time to react. They're going to smoke around the back. I mean, this is the only angle you'll be able to take him by surprise here. You might get Knight, but again, this guy's got 2 lives.
They see Parker. They see Parker. His smoke is popped. He's running forward. Has BKB available. He's slowed by Scotty. Stormbolt on Knight. Frank comes in. Gushes Knight. Knight does not care about anything that's being used on him. Prada goes forward. Again, Knight does not care. He manages off the Frostbite. He still has 30 seconds of 2 lives. If he wants to re-engage, Avalanche is there on alone. A big kill there, but he has the BKB, as you mentioned. He turns in on Prada. He's running on forward. His team is not joining him. He has a defensive remnant ready to go, and he will go to it, so...
Why is that
Thunder
CM
Awaken
so
gets something.
tanky? What the hell? I
A
felt like he had a
fluffy
million
hat.
HP there. TM should have died, man. I guess he got like
fluffy
no
hat, though.
damage items on the Ember Spirit. And yeah, Fluffy had Pupil's Gift on CM. Doesn't even have the HP talent though. Yeah, this Pupil's Gift item is actually just insane. Give you 300 HP.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's not only that, it's also 2 armor, which for Crystal Maiden is a big deal. It's a hero who could really use 2 armor. Well, at this point, Thunder Awaken, they actually didn't get as much as they hypothetically could have on that first Roshan, but they got a lot.
Yep.
They got all the tier 2 towers, they got a tier 3 tower, they got a range racks, they got some kills, and at this point, if you're Thunder Awaken, the play is just wait out for second Roshan, get second Roshan, end the game, correct?
Yeah. I mean, you might not even need to wait for the second Roshan. You could just try to breach high ground before that. Yeah, this BKB being worked on right now. The TB. Actually, at this rate, it's probably going to be second Roshan. He's not going to have both these items completed by then.
Yeah. If you are Infinity, how do you stop exactly what I have said? Mid lane. Oh no, Frank is being gone on again. He has the Ravage, but he's rooted on up. He's gonna get
Sven's not around. Death Prophet's moving the opposite direction. He's not going to commit the Ravage there. He's really been holding it this entire game, but it's the only threat they have to stop Thunder Awaken from just walking up their high ground and killing everybody.
By the way, Alone is bottom, rooted by Prada. Alone is forced to BKB. Parker and Prada are on the run. How many Ravages have been used, actually? Is it 1?
I've only seen 1.
I only remember 1 as well. You see chains on Parker. Meanwhile, Theo's TP is canceled by Michael in the top lane. Illich and Michael are hitting Leo, but he's siphoning both of them. He's still half HP, has the Lotus, but he's still being right-clicked down by Illich. He's out of siphons, and he's now out of HP. One more kill for Illich. Now mid lane, it's Knight going in with Excel. Excel might die to Parker, but oh my god, the Terror Blade damage with all that crit. It's just too much. Prada falls again. Knight goes for Milliards, and the GG is called.
Thunder Awaken take a
Infinity
very
attacks.
quick game number one. Only 24 minutes, and I think they've been putting on the gas the entire time. We talked about the sick global ganking potential that they had between the Nature's Prophet and the Ember Spirit, but it started coming out at like 5 minutes into the game. We saw 4 heroes in the mid lane just running people down. So, alone, despite the fact that man doesn't have any farm, well, it doesn't matter if nobody on the enemy team has any farm either. Well played by them. They actually canceled the GG.
Why is the throne not dead?
They canceled the
Shouldn't
GG.
the throne be dead?
Yeah.
Shouldn't the throne be dead by now?
Somebody canceled the GG there.
Like this
Dude,
GG
Knight's not hitting the throne either. Oh my god, the disrespect. Alone's gonna try to close this one out. There it goes. Okay, you guys.
Okay. I love Dota 2, man. I love Dota 2.
What a video game.
What a video game. My favorite of video games at that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Thunder Awaken, a resounding, dominant, completely one-sided game 1 victory. Pure Infinity, you have to mix it up for game 2, right?
Yeah. I don't know why win probability is ever going in the favor of Infinity this game. It just, again, felt like from the start, maybe it just figured, okay, mid lane's not going so well for the Ember Spirit. He's getting shut down. But again, it didn't matter. Alone managed to find tons of kills. He managed to do a lot of damage. Even if he doesn't have a ton of farm, Knight's going to pick up the slack for him. So, regardless of the fact that his net worth around like the 8-10 minute mark was pretty far behind where you want it to be, he played so fast with his team that it kind of defeats, okay, your net worth should be at X amount this time. Well played there by them on Thunder Awaken.
Maybe if Illich was less farmed, it'd be a lot more playable. Like, say if both Illich and Alone were not that farmed, then it'd be just the Night Terror Blade, but there were 2 very farm cores.
Yeah.
And you're playing that game, and both Parker and Leo are not farmed enough to be the 2-core answer to Thunder Awaken's 2 farm cores, so.
Yep. But that is going to be it for game number 1. We'll see if Infinity are able to bring it back before the next game. For now, it is going to be all. We're going to go on a short break of 5-10 minutes. We'll see you guys soon with game number 2, whether or not Infinity can bounce this one back. Stay tuned.
right? It is all tied up 16-16. Spec throws out that nade, does some good damage to Maluk. He's down to 80 health. As TRK trying to take over this connector area, making his way forward, but he's going to have two players at the top of Khan to deal with, and he could actually catch out.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Thunder Awakens, turn to ban. Dire team ban.
Welcome back to the BTS Pro Series 13, everyone. It's Neff, joined once again by Badger. Got game number 2 at Thunder Awaken up against Infinity. We're going to see if they can bring him back.
Dire team pick.
You know, it's been one of those situations where if you're Infinity, I'm hoping they go back to the drawing board, go for a different style of draft, and that's already a good start. That was a hero who was, I believe, first banned game 1, one of the premier heroes in the game right now, and they immediately snap-picked that 5-pick Dusk.
Yep, not wasting any time grabbing that one. I mean, it's been dangerous in the hands of Alone. I can see why they don't want to give that one up if they have first pick.
10 seconds remaining.
I am doing great, though, if you're wondering.
I'm not this time.
Understandable.
No, it's been a long day. Again, you broadcasters, play-by-play, all the same to me. It doesn't matter. We'll see what they respond to with the Tusk here on the side of Thunder Wing. Looks like they go for Ember Spirit again. I mean, Alone, despite the fact that he got reasonably shut down in the mid lane, still had a decent performance, set up a lot of kills with his team. The question is if they're going to play as fast as they did the last game without the Nature's Prophet. Is Infinity ended up banning that one out first. They have gotten mind flayed in the previous game. It's never a good sign when you just first ban a hero that you just played against. You can tell that you have been affected mentally by it and you have no answer to it.
And the problem is, well, not only do you do that, they then proceed to grab another hero they first picked last game. So even though you've banned out part of their formula, they still have the Ember.
Yeah, and listen, Thunder Awaken players, they're not one-trick ponies, okay? They could pull out any number of strategies against you. You ban out the last one, you ended up working to do. Also, they have another strategy that's just as effective, but go with the Morphling next here on Infinity. It's solid against the Ember Spirit, I feel, but it gives them a lot of time to counterpick the Morphling coming up. I think at this point, you just go for some heavy disable.
I'm actually really interested in seeing how the Morphling performs. It's one of those heroes that's been banned a lot. It's been, I think if I had to guess, it would be the most commonly banned hero, specifically in the second ban phase in the entire tournament. There's been so many second phase Morphling bans, so Infinity lock it in real early. They ban out AA, one of the traditional Morphling counters. They ban out PL as well, and we're going to see where they go from there.
Well, the AA ban is not a surprise if you're sitting on the Morphling, but I feel like Ancient Apparition really isn't that scary unless you have a setup for the Ice Blast, like Chronosphere, Arena, that sort of thing. Not that Morphling can't get out of the arena. It's one of the few jumps that actually still end up going through it, as you're invulnerable as you phase through, right?
Yeah, and I guess you have slight chains, but then he'll either buy a Manta or a BKB anyways to get out of that, but sometimes you just don't want to deal with it. You just don't want to deal with the hero.
Yeah. So, with Ancient Apparition banned out, they get rid of the Terra Blade as well. We've used it both against the Morphling, especially ever since they removed, or basically got rid of Shotgun Morphling. The E-Blade Adaptive Strike combination was one of the only things you could actually finish off the Terra Blade quickly with. Outside of that, I think the TV does quite good against the Morphling now, so it's funny how that one changes.
I mean, Dota's a fluid game, especially when there's as many items being added. And...
Oh, I thought that was going to be a Morphling joke.
Yeah, was a little bit there, but mostly wanted to focus on the point that I was...
okay, continue.
I mean, Dota's a changing game. You see items added,
Is that a Morphling joke?
You see talents added, you know, all these nerfs and buffs. You know,
Dota
fundamentally changes.
Much like Morphling.
You're killing me, Neff. You're killing me right now.
I bet the chat's sick of me, just waiting for these games to end so the SEA ones can start. All right, listen, you guys, you stuck with me at least one more game.
I mean, yeah, we have more time. I mean, there's and even then, no matter how late we go, unless we go until like 2 in the morning my time, 11 p.m. your time, we're not gonna run to SEA anyways. So they're stuck with us.
Yeah. Don't say that. Knock on wood right now, because there's been times I said that. I think I was doing assistant production for SEA DPC regional finals. That was it. And then I had to cast Pro Series immediately after it. I'm like, don't worry, guys. There's no way that I don't make it to Pro Series. And then every game ends up going like 70 minutes because that was the Storm Spirit Null Talisman patch where it was just impossible to end games. You would just zip out of this fountain and clear out waves. So the days were like 13 to 15 hours, and then I would cast Pro Series after that, get 2 hours sleep and run it back. This is nothing. We got 2 best of 3s a day. Yeah, I mean, your average Dota player plays like 20 hours worth of pubs a day, so that is nothing.
Huh. Interesting number, the 20 hours. We'll go. Why not?
I saw Gunner do that when he was at boot camp. He's like up before me, or sorry, no. Yeah, he was up before me. I'd wake up to seeing Gunner playing pubs, and I'd like go to bed around the same time as him, and he was still playing pubs. And I only got like a couple hours of sleep at night. The man just loves his pubs. Actual psychopath.
I remember seeing a bang. I'm not sure if it was from you or who put the tweet out, but it was like at the boot camp. You have Gunner playing pubs. It's like Husky in a Zen garden. I'm like, ah.
Oh yeah, that was my tweet. Yeah.
Banger tweet. Yeah, banger tweet.
Thanks.
Back to the draft, though. We got Slardar, our fishy friend who has been dominating a lot of these games in the last few days. And then Ogre Magi, another 2-headed hero to join the twin-headed dragon.
Mm-hmm. You can actually cosplay as the Jakiro as well with this one.
You're right. You are right.
Valve have no limit to the monstrosities that they've added to this game. Ogre Magi can actually just become Jakiro at this point. Speaking of, I don't think I've informed enough people of the Ogre Magi power creep. They ended up nerfing his armor by 1, and they actually increased it by accident. And they still haven't fixed that, and it's been like a couple of months when they increased his base damage. They took away his HP regen at first, but they ended up giving him back more HP regen in this most recent patch.
Despite the buffs to Ogre Magi, he's only been picked 5 times in this Pro Series.
How many times have you been banned, though?
3.
Okay, that's not that many. However, the Ogre Magi power creep is real. You guys are going to see. Infinity have got this game in the bag.
I do want to point out, though, that Infinity are one of the only 2 teams. It's been only Infinity and Infamous who have picked Ogre Magi. Mm-hmm. And Infinity, they're 100% winner with that Ogre Magi. So this is a hero which they are comfortable in playing.
Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised he's going to own the laning phase. The man's got too much armor. He's got, like, insane base damage. He's up there with Treant Protector, basically. Well, not quite that high, but he's got faster attack speed than Treant has.
That's a Brewmaster.
Yeah. Solid grab. But it doesn't really counter out anything here.
I guess it's still one of those things where he's a very centralizing hero in the team fights. Like, you pop that Primal Split, and you got a lot of chaos. You can dispel the Flame Guard, you can just lift up Slardar in the air, you can stun the Slardar.
Primal Split for that anymore. You just build your Aghanim Scepter, you've got the Spirit Panda following you around, much like the Lone Druid Bear, and so, you know, without Primal Split, you still have access to the Whirlwind and Dispel Magic.
There's actually very little reserve time left for both teams. They've spent a lot of time contemplating. Whoa, okay. I like it. That's not a hero we see at all, pretty much, but I like it.
It's a ton of disable. We're talking about the fact they needed more of that to deal with the Morphling. The Mana Drain also helps quite a bit. Hell, I imagine you pop you just hex the Brewmaster, Mana Drain him, stop him being able to get off his Primal Split. You can put in a lot of work with this one. So between Ice Paths, Slithering Crushes, Bashes, Hex, Earth Spike, Lion, you have a lot of disable here on Thunder Awaken. It's going to stop these Primal Splits from coming off, and it's going to like stop Morphling in his tracks too. You do have save in the form of Snowball, be able to stop some of these chain stuns coming out, but Tusk is going to need a Blink Dagger for that. They're going to have the work cut out for them.
Dire team back.
Yeah, we're seeing some more fun interactive heroes getting banned out in this last ban phase. What could be our last ban phase?
Fun and interactive in Medusa, yeah. Okay.
What could be our last ban phase of the day if Thunder Awaken take game 2? Infinity will have the first pick coming out of the bans, and then Thunder Awaken will have the counter pick with 24. So, hope to see. We're assuming it'll be a support, but it could be a mid, depending on what they want to do with the Tusk.
Yeah. I think it'll be.
5 seconds remaining.
I think it'll be Tusk mid. Tusk will probably go mid. I don't think many people play Brewmaster mid anymore, and I think it's kind of fallen off now that Agnum Scepter isn't the same as it used to be. And the draft with Rubik, I mean, you got a lot of good spells to choose from. You get anything from Lion's Kit, it feels great. You get any Jakiro spells, especially Ice Path. It is amazing to feel steal Ice Path on Rubik. Last pick coming out is going to be Slark.
Slark, okay,
I mean, at
okay.
the very least, a hero that doesn't get controlled up by Brewmaster. Brewmaster also relies heavily on his debuffs. Actually, a lot of your heroes rely heavily on debuffs. The Ogre Magi and the Brewmaster both have large damage over time with Ignite, Cinder Brew, and a lot of time the Brewmaster ends up building up a Urn/Spirit Vessel. Having the constant Dispel from Dark Pact is going to help a lot with that.
Ordinarily, you want strong AoE control for the Slark, and there's very little AoE control to work with here. I mean, you have the Snowball Stun, and you have the Thunderclap Slow from Brewmaster. That's literally all your AoE. It's not. I mean, I guess if Morphling can morph into, say, Slardar or Jakiro or Lion, then that could be your Slark counter, but that's not the most reliable thing, morphing into an enemy hero just to counter a different enemy hero,
Yeah. We're cut out from this game. I'd say that I prefer the draft on the side of Thunder Awaken. I'm not a big fan of Brewmaster ever since they changed him. I thought the double split was super sick. It's kind of easy to control up his pandas and bring them down.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Thunder Awaken draft last game. Ended up being right for the wrong reasons, and again, I like their draft. I think this is as good a Slark game as you're probably going to get. So I think Knight's in a very good spot to pop off here.
Yeah, I really don't have a ton of answers to be able to deal with him inside his Dark Pact. Shadow Dance. I know that much. Like Thunderclap, and that's basically it.
Eventually, you get the Aghanim Shard for the Depth Shroud, which is basically a second Shadow Dance, except better. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be very, very hard.
I always do like watching me some Brewmaster gameplay, though, so I'm going to keep my eyes probably down on the bottom lane.
Always ready for a fight.
If you are just joining us, welcome to game number 2 of Thunder Awaken on the Radiant side, taking on Infinity Esports on the Dire side. Thunder Awaken took game 1 in an absolute beatdown, and we are hoping that game 2 will prove more competitive. My name is Badger. I'm joined by the absolute unit that is Nef Sensei, and hopefully we're going to be in for a fantastic game too.
Thanks. I like the absolute unit. And that one's nice. It'd be a nice one to end the day on, but we'll see if they can bring this one back on Infinity.
They're not sitting around. They're already in the river. That's how you know they're here to brawl nice and early.
Don't have their eyes on anybody yet. I mean, a lot of the time you want to use your Slark to try to scout out wards at the very beginning of the match. He's got extra 18. He got 1800 night vision, 1,000 more than a lot of other heroes, but doesn't manage to get his eyes on anybody. Would it really be Pro Series without a pause at the beginning of the match?
No, it wouldn't be. So we have a pause from Infinity's Frank, aka Devil on the Brewmaster. The stopwatch is ticking, by the way. So
yeah, we'll give him a little bit of time.
Of course, I mean, they have at least 10 minutes, so...
I like what I see.
You mean at least?
Well, it's okay. You get a minimum of 10, and then they could use their opponent's pause time, or I could just give them an extra minute for fun. Like, hey, there's room there.
You didn't even give them an extra minute for fun?
I mean, I'm not supposed to, but I shouldn't have said that, actually. But sometimes you have extenuating circumstances. Like, say someone's house is on fire. I might give them 2 more minutes,
I see.
Sometimes you gotta make the judgment call.
Yeah.
A flash of inspiration.
Or, in the case of a LAN cafe being on fire, you give them like an extra 60 minutes.
That's a little too much. I mean, usually it's like, you don't want to give them more than like a half minute, 2 minutes. 60 minutes would be considered excessive.
I see. Yeah, I agree.
Seeing Knight get run at by Frank, He'll get the bounty rune, but he might just die potentially. Never mind. Could not get in range of any lockdown with, say, an ignite from Prada, so that will be an escape for Knight Slark.
Yep, he's gonna be just fine. I mean, a little bit dicey when you go Essence Ship level 1. That's the ability you get when you're trading with people rather than being able to Dark Pact or pounce away from them. We're planted here by Genic. I don't imagine they scouted this one out. And the Prada over on the other side here, again, it's the Ogre Magi power creep. He's gonna zone him from the lane.
I know you're a big enthusiast of your hero, Ogre Magi.
I'm not. He's an incredibly boring hero when he shouldn't be as strong as he is.
Okay, then you are a power creep Ogre Magi truther. Regardless, you think he's strong. He's been strong so far this game.
Yeah. Thank you. Power creep truth there. Gonna take a couple auto attack damage, but Devil will keep him nice and safe. Thunderclap. At least the threat of it keeping him off him.
There's a mid lane. It's Ember Tusk. That's enough discussion of that one, right?
This one's not that interesting. I think Tusk probably has a reasonable time CSing here. It should be about 50-50. Neither of them have much kill potential on the other. You have two powerful nukes that allow you to secure yourself CS on the Tusk, and you've got decent harass and be able to chase him out with the Flame God on Ember Spirit. So far, Lone is winning this one 7-2 compared to the 4-0 of the Tusk.
Though I can say that'll get very interesting when supports start rotating, because with extra heroes in there, there's a lot of heal potential with those two heroes.
Yeah.
But for now, when they're alone in that 1v1, no pun intended, it's pretty safe for both of them, barring a huge outplay or a huge misplay.
Yeah. Speaking of, Michael's just going to get chased away from the lane here. Going to force to go the long way around. Very sad.
That's what happens sometimes, but as long as your core is farming, it's not too big of a deal. And again, Parker is farming. Parker is, by the way, just constantly agi shifting. He just has not turned it off. He has no strength that he can morph out of, so it doesn't really matter. But it's kind of funny to look at.
Yeah. We have to be a little bit worried about getting blown up against this double disable lane here if you're sitting on full agi.
You know what the rule is going to be for Parker, right?
What?
Just don't get hit.
Just don't get hit. I mean, Impale come out of nowhere. He keeps, he's like faking it out on Michael, trying to get him to just start shifting a little bit into strength. At least burn through some of his mana like that.
Parker's a cool cat, though. He's cold as ice. He's ready to just sit here and stand his ground. He's not scared of Michael.
Yeah.
He didn't even flinch at that stun that was going in his direction.
Yeah. I mean, once he gets level 3, I think it becomes even harder for him to kill him. And at that point, his shift is just too fast.
Ooh, Michael. Oh, never mind. I thought for a second they can't be blocked, but Prada still got the D ward on the D ward, so. RIP the blocked camp chance for Michael. He might just die here. He's ignited the lion.
He's got a mango up and stun him in order to not die.
Still not fun for Michael, but it's better than dying, I suppose. First blood, not fun to give up. But Prada's not done yet. The only problem is he lacks the mana. Wait, this build on Prada is wild. I would expect like mangoes or something, or a stick. No, he has rear protection, fairy fire, 2 branches, tangos.
Didn't he have mangoes?
I'm sure he did. Yeah, he's used them, but so that ring is a wild. I mean, that's a lot of armor. He's already a high armor hero, so he's doubling down the armor in the slaughter lane. Bottom lane, we got some fun stuff going on there as well, I'm sure. And by fun stuff happening, I mean hitting of creeps. If you're a fan of those, then bottom lane's place for you.
Yeah, Slark opted to go Boots of Speed as his first item here, so very easy to run the Brewmaster down if he puts himself out of position. And of course, man on the Brewmaster, Wind Braces, so a little bit of regen, able to trade with these people, and we'll go on top of Excel. This will do a reasonable amount of damage to him.
He's still running away. Frank needs one more hit, and it'll be Genic instead, getting the first blood on the Rubik. Knight wants vengeance, but he will not get it. He's not yet. If he wants to go in, he could possibly turn on Genic, but instead he'll use the Dark Pact to run away. I think if he goes back in, he dies right afterwards, so. Yeah, good play there from Infinity. They got on the board right away.
Well, unfortunately, able to chase heroes down and whatnot, but you'd rather extra stat item to be able to fight with heroes rather than use Boots of Speed. You can get in now, but that's about it.
Got it.
Well, wait, Genic? Okay, he denied to the tower. Okay.
Yeah. Over here.
They're trying to punish Frank, knowing Genic is not in the lane. Counts forward by Knight. Frank down to about 1/3 HP. He has 8 wand charges and a Fairy Fire. He will use the wand and the Fairy Fire. Tank one more duel, but as that happens, Leo Styles TP'd in, going for Knight. Ice Shards are on point. Knight is about 1/6 HP. He's duking in the trees right now as both Frank and Genic run in. Knight is under dire vision. They're well aware where he is. Stable level 2 is up. Ice Path comes in. Knight's duking in the trees once again. Leo will walk away half HP. Bit of jukes come out from both teams. In the end, it's only one suicide from Genic and nothing else.
Action, but not much coming out of it. This is going to slow down your level 6 on the Tusk. Is going to make a rotation back over to the mid lane. And speaking of, Alone's got his now. And his Orb Corrosion, so man's ready to start making movements around the map. An interesting skill build, 2 points of the Flame Guard, rather than just maxing out a Sleight of Fist first. Just be able to survive, or have his shield survive the Ice Shards being thrown out onto it. He doesn't want to just get destroyed immediately.
I'm fairly confident level 2 Flame Guard blocks level 3 shards, so yeah, it's good there for a while to have that.
Yeah, they have to do math for it now because it absorbs like 70%. Very annoying. Never done math in my life. I never will.
I mean, one day we'll force you to do math now. We'll put it in your contract. Over to bottom lane, Knight's getting a run at. Fade Bolt is there, but the damage is lacking, so there's no kill for Infinity. But despite that, it's still a good lane right now for Frank and Genic. They'll lift up Excel towards Frank. They'll ice out on the floor to zone away, but it will not stop the death from the current Mule mid lane.
Oh.
Radiant's courier.
Oh, that's a lot in the career, you're right.
So that wasn't
Tragic.
just Jakira's. That was also the region that Slark needed. There were 3 mangoes and a bunch of tangos on that. Now he's got to ferry out his own region on Slark. He's just sitting over here with like 300 HP. That is miserable.
Yeah, maybe Dodo wants us to have a game 3 again. This is our 4th series casting. It's been the game 3 on the first 3. Maybe it'll be a 4th.
Yeah. Gets himself out a healing salve as well. Had to buy his own healing salve. Oh my god.
What a tragic tale.
Yeah. Carry players around the world are crying right now.
No doubt about it.
Those stars going to move over to the enemy team's jungle, pick up the banner, and then make a rotation back into the mid. I don't think it'll connect with anything, though.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
He can run it alone, but alone is more or less unkillable in that 1v1. He has the Remnant prepped, ready to run away if he needs to at a nice little safe location. Leo knows where the Remnant is, but it doesn't really matter in this case.
Yeah.
Punch up in the air, snowball to fall. Flame Guards just got broken. The Lion's on is there on top. Tusk will attempt phase boot and walk away, and he'll succeed at doing that. The minute 8 rune has spawned bottom. Hex is there on prod over the bottom rune. Alone will get back over to top rune. Michael. Okay, that was a little ballsy, but it worked out on that one.
Down the bottom lane, Jakiro ends up getting run down by the Rubik and the Brewmaster. Oh yeah, had our eyes over in the mid lane.
I have no regrets. Well, at this point, we're looking at hero net worth, and it's Brewmaster on top, Morphling neck and neck with him alone in that top pack. Tusk, Slardar, Slark, all suffering. So there's a clear lane winner in all 3 lanes here.
2k net with advantage here at 8 minutes is actually pretty massive.
5 comes in mid lane, 3v1 against Genic, and Genic will lose as the one. Though bottom lane, meanwhile, they're diving towards Knight. Split was committed. Punch up will kill the courier, but Knight will still get run down by Leo and Frank. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but one if you're Infinity, you are extremely happy about.
In the top lane, you tried to trade with Parks. He moves over and picks up his Perseverance. He's going first item Lincoln Sphere. I've never been a big fan of this on Morphling. It'll keep you alive or deal with a single target disabled they have on Lion, but it slows down your farm speed pretty significantly.
It is a classic. I mean, this is the classic Morphling item.
Yep. They're smoked up, but he's going to pop the smoke onto the Morphling there, and the Observer Ward will reveal the Jakiro.
One thing I can say about the Lincolns, though, is it's very good into the Lion, especially later into the game. That blocking the Hex is a huge deal. Ice Path misses. Parker jukes that one out by sidestepping it, and I mean, Thunder or Awaken have 3 heroes up here, but it's a hard kill.
I'm not sure anything can come of this. Instead, they're going to move back over to the mid lane. I mean, at the very least, they already have the tower. They find a haste rune on Alone as well. They'll Remnant Bank. You gotta have something set up around the mid lane or something, right?
Speedy rune of haste.
One's going in for Parker. He'll move over to the easier kill, that being the Prada Ogre Magi. Michael comes in with the Earth Spike, and eventually the Ogre Magi will fall. Sleightifist, the last hit for Alone. The carry Parker will get away, but the problem is Genic might not. He's being run down by Alone. He's already down to half HP, pops the stick, but it's a Tusk. Counts Snowball, punching up Alone. Wait for him forward, but Alone remnants forward and back, all the way around. No death there on Alone. It's only the death on the Ogre Magi.
Yeah, he's going for the exact same build this game as he did last time. The power treads. I think this one's always a little bit bizarre, but does have decent potential just running heroes down with it. This sounds just being a big bully now. So the shards off onto
he's
Alone.
shadowing Alone, yeah.
More
He's just
damage.
following him around, and you cannot play Dota. You are not allowed.
He's dropping the laugh lines on him. He's throwing tips onto him.
What can you do sometimes?
Yeah. He knows that Alone is struggling a bit here. He's still ahead of Leo Style on net worth right now, and Alone does have his tower, but last couple of rotations haven't managed to connect. It's
Alone's
super noisy
actually-
with the constant harass of that coming out as well.
Yeah. He'll get punched up. He's not dead quite yet, but he's taking a lot of damage. So we have to TP the Fountain just to heal here. He'll get Snowball stunned. Shards are up in 1. Alone needs to be careful in this case. He's lost his Flame Guard, the Remnant away. Okay.
Be able to remnant and head back to base again, but it puts it in a cooldown for 30 seconds, so he's not going to be able to do much once he gets back. Up in the top lane, Genic pinging out the Slardar, Tuscan TP in. He's going to set things up for Leo Style, sitting pretty
One more
low
punch
mana
from
and HP.
Leo. He snowballs the stun. Ice Shard puts Illich on the inside, but he's not quite dead, and the damage just is not there. Instead of
Yeah.
Michael wrapping around, has Finger, but cannot lock down Leo quite yet.
Would have been not so bad if you managed to steal anything from the Slardar other than the sprint. Unfortunately, that one wasn't helping you too much.
Genic is just, he's chilling top lane. He's hexed by Michael, but he seems not to care. He's stolen a better spell. He had out the Lion Earth Spike. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Knight is playing around with Parker and Prada, with Dark Pacts, and will stay alive.
I mean, they're going to be able to dive the tier 2 tower at 12 minutes into the game. It's just not happening, not against the Slug. So they basically have to leave him alone. Well, I was surprised they were posturing that far forward on him, but I guess it was kind of shutting down his farm. Morphling is pretty far ahead at 6.2k net worth. Slug struggling to find much.
Nearly 2k behind. It's very good for Parker. It's very good in general for Infinity. They had a 2k very early lead. They've extended it to a 3k lead. So again, a moderate-sized lead. And if they can keep it going, then Parker will be able to hit his time and be extremely strong in this game.
Alone can try to clear out this ancient camp with the assistance of Slardar. I'm curious what his first item is going to be. Last game he was forced to build a BKB, but this game I think he needs maybe more damage. Especially if Slark isn't having a great start.
I don't know what the item's exactly going to be. Maybe it's like a Maelstrom type item, but we'll have to see. Alone is still contemplating. Nothing in his quick buy quite yet. Meanwhile, Snowball's there on Michael. Michael will stun Leo and then hex him afterwards, but it will not stop his death. The kill goes to Genic with the stolen Lion Stun. Over to mid lane. See a bit of a brawl going on there with Prada walking into Excel and Illich. He'll kill a Sentry Ward before he dies, but never mind, he won't. He'll just die anyways. The kill goes to Illich. Makar was committed, but again, it's a 1-for-1 across the map. Over to the river, actually. We see Alone 1v1ing Leo style. But both Tusk and Ember should be fine, though Alone wants to change that. He's going for it, but he cannot get the kill.
No, doesn't have chains, so only level 1, so huge cooldown on it, not lasting very long. He's not really able to chase anyone down at this point. They walk away. Managed to find 1 kill, but not closing the net worth gap. Infinity have been slowly making for themselves here. Again, the one thing that will slow them down is the fact that this Morphling went for a Lincoln Sphere. Not a very fast farming item, however, it is going to keep him alive, so these ganks onto the Morphling fail, which, you know, in all likelihood they should. The first target spell is just completely blocked. Like, you gotta open this one up with an Ice Path, then Mana Drain, then Earth Spike him. Actually, they could get him here. This is big.
Here we go. Lincoln's popped, but not. Oh, there's a hex. There's a ice.
They decide not to go for it. Yeah, they realize they don't have enough damage. He's just gonna walk away now. Michael's, in fact, I'm pretty sure just... Okay,
Wait, he's actually
alive.
alive. Meanwhile, top lane's 2v1 going on. Leo is in a bit of danger, though, since that Illich is being turned on, lifted up by Genic. In the 3v1, we see rotation from Alone, but not before the Slardar dies in Alone, who did rotate and does not want to commit to that one. The reason why I like this Linken's on Morphling, though, is Parker's a great player at getting ahead, and sometimes there are these games where he ends up throwing them when he is ahead, so fundamentally going for a risk-averse conservative item with the Morphling allows him to not throw the game, which in this situation is just absolutely fantastic.
I don't know. I am never. I feel like you fall off whenever you go Lincoln's first item on this hero, so I'm not very big on it. Maybe it'll be different this time. Maybe they won't fall off. I mean, playing it safe can help you secure your network lead as well.
I think specifically with this Morphling player in this Dota game with this exact lead, I like it a lot. I think it's the optimal item, actually. Over to mid lane, Ice Path on Prada, but he has a hood buff. He's chilling. Not Prada, onto Frank, my bad.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, top lane, speaking of things that are going on, it's Michael getting brought down by Genic and Leo. Again, the Lion Stun, stolen by Rubik, just so valuable.
Yeah, he's going to hold on to that thing as long as he can. He's actually refreshed the duration on it, managed to get that from Lion again. Out of everything you give up, is probably the best for Rubik.
Long range stun, caught him for the Dark Pact. He's changed unto death on Knights. What a fantastic gank, aided by the stolen Lion Stun. That's the MVP. It's the spell stealing Earth Spike.
Right. It is the stolen spell that is the MVP, not the player here.
Not the spell itself, not the player. No, it's the literal stolen spell, though. Oh, yeah. They're not done, though. It's another 3-man smoke from Infinity. Alone will pop 2 of the smokes, but Tusk is still smoked. Headed towards the top lane, where there are 3 Thunder Awaken heroes in the vicinity. Excel, the first hero who will tank the gank. Parker is under tower. Leo is running forward. He'll snowball stun. Illich punch up in the air, but he's stunned by Lion. Speaking of Lion stun, stars also Lion stun. Macro Ice Path are dropped. Parker brings down Illich. It is time to disengage. Meanwhile, middle lane. Wait, there's nobody here. It's only Alone.
No, you
There's a
want to
split
keep your
top
eyes
lane.
on Excel here.
Excel right now. He's getting run down to Jakiro. Brewmaster has too much lockdown, too many spells. And speaking of Brewmaster, it's a Cyclone on Michael. He's stunned again by his own stun from Genic. He'll be a 3rd kill when the line inevitably dies. The kill being given to Parker. With the 3 kills, they'll parlay that one into a top T1 tower.
Yep, domination all over the map. This is exactly what we saw out of Thunder Awaken in game number 1. And I think they're even further ahead than Thunder Awaken were. 7k advantage here at 18 minutes into the game. I mean, the one saving grace, you still have your tier 1 mid tower standing, so you haven't lost complete map control yet, but it's coming.
There's a good chance you're right. I think they were more like 4k, 5k at this stage of the game. They end up accelerating around now, and again, Infinity have been accelerating as well, so it's almost a mirror of game 1.
They've gone for this Desolator again on the Ember Spirit, so we're going to see the combination of Curse of Haze on the Slardar alongside the minus armor from the Desolator and the Orb of Corrosion on Alone, and hopefully they can put out a lot of damage with this one, but...
We see Knight juking around bottom lane, but it seems like he'll die. A little too much damage, a little bit too much lockdown. He has Pounce again. He's incredibly low on HP. Sentry has been given just for the vision. Knight, he'll actually get away! And now...
The pause comes out afterward. There was no way for them to interrupt that one, unfortunately. Once he was out of that one and TP'd, he was out. Snowball still on cooldown, Earth Spike and Fade Bolt still on cooldown, and I don't think there was anything that the Brewmaster was able to do either. That's insane. And they tried so hard. Again, the Sentry Ward they placed for that little bit of vision, the vision lasting like 10 seconds and upon placement of the Sentry Ward, is what they were going for there. We've turned our eyes up to the top lane, though. And we see Slardar starting to get gone on. And
yeah, Slardar being gone on by 2 as the remainder of Thunder Awaken collapse bottom. This is going to be a fun one. Illich gets gone on. He's half HP stunned already. The Slardar will run away. Meanwhile, bottom lane. Fight breaks out there as low Mega Fire there on Leo's style. Lift up on Ember. Snowball through. I believe it'll stun only one. That'll be Michael. Michael's punched up, brought down. Alone is still man fighting the ability, but Frank is running down Excel. He'll Ice Path. It is not stolen. Good job only giving dual breath, but it's still a fantastic situation for Side of Infinity. They get kills and they lose nothing.
Clean 2 heroes off. I mean, they don't manage to get Slark, but At the very least, then they get everyone else. I thought that one would turn around and they'd be able to find those kills on the Thunder Awaken.
Of regeneration.
Bold play from Knight. Goes for a solo kill on Gannick, but it's not going to work quite yet. The kill comes to Alone, but Knight might die for it. He'll attempt to pounce away, but the pounce is blocked by Frank. Stun from Prada. They bring down the carry. Not a favorable trade for Knight.
Slark, I mean, even when he's not dead, he's just not farming. He's getting chased out of his lane. And he's a long way off his Aghanim Scepter. Still needs more than 1,000 gold. He needs like, 1,200 gold for this one to be completed. And by then, you have the issue where you're not doing any damage. You can dodge the enemies, but unfortunately, no one is able to actually put the hurt onto Infinity. I have Scotty now coming out of the Morph lane. He went this defensive item first, but he managed to keep up at the top of the net worth. So now he's tanky, and he does a lot of damage. I'm not sure you bring him down with this Desolator combo you have.
That's the cool thing. You don't.
Yeah.
He's even getting the tome, the minute 20 tome, just for a level 15 in this fight. Line is going to get snowballed. Infinity flood into the high ground. Michael's already dead. Excel is the new target. Easily brought down by Leo and Parker. Alone is poking on around, putting on the sleight of fist and corrosive or debuffs, but he's been caught in the root, and he's stunned by Parker. He's dead. That's 3 kills there for Infinity. It's a 9k net worth lead. It's Roshan going there as well.
Just like in the last game, though, it feels so much worse than a 9k net worth lead, and Rochelle could just get blown up here. Morphling can have no trouble. Just how
Courier died. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Leo is here. He's looking towards both Knight and Illich. He's alone right now. Most of his team is not here. They're in the Roshan pit where the Proudest Courier died.
Yeah, when aggro changes and there's no unit that's targetable for a neutral creep, they'll just target a courier that's by them. So say something like a Sunstrike hits at the same creep at the same time a courier passes by, the creep will just target the courier because it thinks the courier is hitting him or something.
R.I.P. Courier. You lived a good life.
What can you do?
What can you do? Well, what we can do is watch a fight that's going to come out mid lane. Hex on Alone. Thunder are backing him up with 4. Chains are on Frank, but Frank the tank is quite a tank right now with a hood and a halberd.
He just missed 2 sleight of fists in a row. Come on, man. Yeah. All right, he hit him with that one.
Gets split off in time. He does not want to get chain stunned. He'll lift up Jakiro in the air, bring him down into Rubik's Ice Path. Lion will stun one of the Brewlings, but Jakiro is already down. Frank heads for more, lifts up Illich in the air as Alone gets chains on 2, but it's Slardar in a lot of danger. Parker is hitting. Snowball forward. Illich goes to DK, but he might not even live this. One word from Morphling will do the job. Lion stuns, but he's in the Ice Shards!
Oh.
A fantastic Ice Shards. They'll get brought down by a crit from Frank. Meanwhile, Parker waveforms down Michael. Over to the north side. Alone is punched up. Snowball stun. The chain stun is perfect. A godlike streak for Parker. And just like that, Infinity, they have a commanding lead. For Thunder Awaken, they're probably looking at game 3 right now.
I mean, morale's going to be incredibly low after that one. He ended up just getting heavily bodied in the last couple of team fights. You've been sitting at like 5 kills for ages now. The 12k net worth advantage, there's really no reason for them to not just try to walk up high ground. You can slow this one down with a macro pyre maybe, but you're still sitting on this Aegis. If you walk far enough forward for it to macro pyre, I'm pretty sure they could just find a kill off onto you. They'll turn their eyes towards the top tier 2 and over the triangle for now, though. I suppose if you walk up the high ground, you're only taking 1 Rax right now. Potentially have to dive into tier 4, so it's just not worth it.
Ooh, look at the item that Parker just finished. As an Aghanim Scepter, if Slark wasn't sad already, which by the way he already was sad, he's now infinitely more sad. He is on a downward spiral of Dota 2 sadness in this game too.
Yeah.
He's a hero who needs stats. He needs attack speed. And if he gets morphed into by this incredibly powerful Aghanim Scepter, he'll just
he's
so
not
much
attacking
attacks.
anything. Man's got like no attack speed items either. Just like his power treads and a little bit from his Mage Slayer. So
He's got 3 from the wand as well. 3 attack speed from the magic wands.
Yeah. I mean, man's gonna be down to basically what he was at during the beginning of the laning phase. And Jim Park just carried away the tier 3 tower. They have to send people back to defend from this one, but again, you got too much armor for your minus armor strategy to do much here. Spirit ends up building a Blink Dagger to be able to jump the back line. This is a bold strat. I mean, he's going to get blown up incredibly quickly if they catch him.
Oh no, Jakiro's already dead. They picked up the Ember as well. Chain stun is not enough, however. It's a 1-for-1 currently. Parker will change the Ember, and Nell alone is waveforms on, but he still gets away.
Nice save there by Knight.
Die. Electrical BKB. He'll attempt to disengage, but he's being slow with the Scotty of Parker. That was... It actually wasn't even that bad of a fight for Thunder Awaken. They still lost it heavily. That's the problem.
Yeah. Knight managed to get the depth shroud off onto Alone when he was stuck.
Fine, that's fun.
Oh, you can hear that? That's
A
unfortunate.
little bit, yeah. If that fight isn't any indication of where this game's headed, then nothing else will be. Where, again, if Thunder Awaken were even in network, that was probably a one fight. But instead, Parker doesn't care. Punch from Leo. Slark's in a lot of danger. Meanwhile, in the back lines, Ember tried to jump on him, but was brought on down. Morphling gets away. Even if he dies, he still has 2 lives. Slark will bring down Prado, but Frank Protect is in the front lines of the Radiant side. Goes into the Lion, heads to Excel. Both will perish. Another 3-for-1 there in favor of Infinity. The Chi 3 is dead. Knight is in. But again, he's snowballed. He's just dead. Okay then, a triple kill for Parker. Slark does have a buyback, but again, this defense, it is incredibly improbable.
Yeah, and that is
just like that, there's your
GG
GG call.
Yeah, I mean, net worth lead was just absolutely insane. Parker at 20k net worth in this game, he is almost double what Slark was. This hero, it hasn't been very successful this tournament, I gotta say. This Slark has just been getting shut down in the laning phase. Even though I wasn't a big fan of the Lincoln Sphere, it did end up helping him, well, preventing any jumps coming out from the line and whatnot. They had a lot of lockdown for these heroes on a single target, and unfortunately that didn't end up paying off.
I said it during the draft that this is probably as good of a Slark game as you're going to get, and it still just didn't work.
Yeah. Oh. With that, Thunder Awaken lose the second game. Infinity are going to tie things up 1-1. I would say a lot of this, again, just came down to Infinity playing this one incredibly fast, not giving the Slarks a chance to do anything. It's surprising given the fact that they have a Morphling on their side, so everything just kind of coming apart for Thunder Awaken here. We'll see if they can bounce back in the third game of this best-of-3 series, though.